Hello, everyone. I just started the live stream. Today, we are talking with Ray Orenda.
This is a reminder. Zoom meeting with Kenya.
At any rate, the webinar hasn't started yet, but this will be archived, so I don't want dead air.
Zoom meeting with Kenya.
Thank you, Alexa.
This is a reminder. Zoom meeting with Kenya. This is a reminder. Zoom meeting with Kenya.
Alexa, stop. Got to make my AI behave herself. But that's how many reminders I set for this thing, everybody. So, still waiting on Raymond to join up, and we've got a couple of attendees to join up. At any rate, we're going to start soon. There we go. Good morning for me. Good evening for you. Oh, I'm not getting mic on you. No sound. All right. So Raymond, you might need to tap the button on there. Is there a microphone button or a mute button on your phone? Did you tap the button that said join with audio, join with computer audio when you were coming in here? Okay. All right. Say something now, my friend. Do you have your headphones? Hello, somebody just showed up. Hi, Michael. We're still working out audio for Raymond here. We did some practices, but. So Raymond, maybe it's the button on your lapel on the line if you're wearing those headphones. Also, if there's a way you could get some more light on you, that would be great. Okay. I might need you to jump off and then try to jump back in again. You close the video and then come back in. Sometimes with the Zoom, we need to do that. Unmute themselves. Okay, maybe you could try the mute button a couple of times. Can you hear me? There?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yay!
Oh, good.
Great. I had to enable you to be able to turn off your unmute button from my end.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, how are you, my friend? Is there a way you can
good.
get some more? Can you turn on a light, or is it just dark?
Yeah, it is 7 in the evening right now, but I'm next to the lights are on, and let me sit next to.
Okay.
The light.
Yeah, there we go. Now we
see?
can kind of see your face.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, it's all good. I'll go ahead and share after this the awesome conversation we had. It was
Yeah.
last night for me. It was this morning for you at your farm, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Showing me your water tanks and stuff like that. Telling me about the monkeys and the hyenas. Yeah, but I'm glad to get you now. So, is there anything that's come up since then? We'll go through the questions again, but you sent out on Facebook some pictures of erosion in your area. That was pretty alarming. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I think when we were talking, I mentioned to you how some places, some pieces of land in our area has been really interfered with because of cutting down of trees.
Yeah.
And I told you I promised I would send you more pictures when we are done with the chat in the morning. So
I saw it.
immediately, I immediately walked to the place. It is not very far from where the project is. It's just some 2 minutes walk. So I took some pictures and I posted. I always feel very bad when I see, like, right now the rains wash all the soil down to the river, and leaving the place very very bad. So
it's a terrible sight. It's like a sore in the earth.
Exactly, the soil is being swept away by the rains.
Now, do you remember when there were trees there? Is that a recent change that the trees were taken and the erosion started? Is that something in your memory, or is it before?
Okay, before, as I said, we are 2 years old with our project here, and before that, I did some people who lived there before and part of it, and they were saying, "Oh, this place was very very good. It was we didn't have this kind of processing the kind of
these degenerative
activity
processes."
exactly, and we had some very good trees here, but it is unfortunate that people started cutting down the trees and leaving this place fallow, and that's why this activity has started in these areas, like
removing the trees without putting them back.
Oh yes, in fact, they're cutting them down and they don't plant them back.
Well, there's a whole lot of different ways we can avoid that. I think that, have you heard of coppicing? Is that something that came up in your studies?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And just telling people about it. Oh, brother, you don't have to cut down the tree. You could turn it into a machine for firewood, and we still get to keep our landscape. It's a win-win.
Yes.
Yeah. So, tell me more about your farm and getting started.
Oh wow. Very interesting.
But I want to hear the story again.
In fact, just as I mentioned that personally, I very humble background. My family were not able to take me to school, and just through a friend, who visited our village, took me to school and my high school, and they also paid for my college. And so I in my life of like doing something that can help many people. So because I could go hungry back at home when my parents were not able to get food and also to feed us, that I should do something that can help many people. And this was doing agriculture, something like teaching people how to do farming, And so when I went to college, I did my agriculture or permaculture course certificate. And when I came back, I mobilized the community. In fact, where our project is not my native home. My native home is 20 kilometers away from this. So I realized those people in that area really needed our services. So I thought it wise to give back to the community, and that's how I met people there, and I organized the community, and I shared with them my vision and what I would want to share with them. And many of them really appreciated and said, "Oh, Raymond, now what can we do?" Then I we can come together and we do something that can help many people. So that's I can say that is the path of Organic Food Kenya. So we formed the name, and we registered as community-based organization, and it is run by 8 volunteers. The community come every week on Wednesdays to volunteer with us, and we also there we've started doing trainings there, and we want them that they get the knowledge and they go and implement it back at home, so that have enough on their table and healthy, not just the food on their table. We are teaching purely organic farming, and because in that area many people doesn't understand what organic food can, what organic what is. Many rely on synthetic fertilizer, on very harmful for our lives. So we are teaching them to take care of the soil, to raise healthy food. In fact, from the last season, we are called seed saving. We have our own seeds that we produce from the farm, and we give it to plant them. You know, because like many seeds here are hybrid seeds, and some of them. And so we thought of like having a seed, set a seed come,
so
and also
you've got a local seed bank going for your local useful heirlooms. That's great. That's wonderful.
So when I mobilized the community, we didn't have a plan. People offered to give give us some piece of land, but with the situation in Kenya, we thought it's wise to organize our own piece of land where we can develop the demonstration farm, community can come and learn. So I put the fundraising request online, and people donated, and that's how we are able to buy that. And so far we've been developing the farm, and I'm very excited that I'm giving back to the community freely. No one is paying me, and I'm doing this for my
for your community, I do it for your family, for the earth.
Exactly.
Well, it's really exciting, the part of the story where you specifically chose an area that wasn't the best, where people were experiencing hardship, and that it was more readily accepted into the community. It seems sometimes in developed countries, places have to get bad before people get serious, like recently Detroit in the 2008 financial collapse. But now they've got an agri-hood, as they're calling it, where people were hungry and starving and desperate, and they did this. So I'm curious about where you got support, if it was largely online or local when you were raising funds, or both.
Hello?
I don't know. I was wondering about when you were raising funds.
Yes.
Where a lot of the support came from the local community, from online, or was it kind of a hybrid?
Oh, question. In fact, say the community where we serve, there are very many poor people. Many of them can't afford to donate money, but their strength, their time, and soil together with us. And so when we started this, it was a bit hard on financial part of it, and that's why I had pressing online, and much of the money that come from the donation that we receive from friends when I share the fundraising.
That's great.
Very, very small, not much. And also personally, I other things like maybe going uh, for 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 some kind of construct, doing some, and also raise some little money, or also selling some crops that we've planted, raise some money as well. Because last time, as I told you, we planted more for sweet potato to regenerate that soil. So most of the sweet potatoes that we raised, we sold to raise the money to to put in some projects there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, there's different kinds of capital. I'm sure you are aware, and you have these human and community capital. And you're reaching out to the bigger global community for the financial capital, and it's great how they work together. So, can you tell me more about the sorts of people that you've ended up elevating through this work, the HIV positive individuals, and how that's played in, and the effects on the community through that, and the effects on the individuals through that? How is this working out for everybody?
Yeah, that's a very good question, brother. In the area where we are serving, many people are HIV positive,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that made touch my heart to be in that area to serve, to help. At the farm we are planting herbs like moringa. We are planting roselle, the hibiscus plant. All these plants all have health benefits, and so far, like the moringa, we produce the moringa powder from the leaves. We also give the leaves to be eaten like as vegetables. So these trees, they provide they improve the immunity system. They boost immunity system, and this will give these HIV people some strength to be able to learn and implement back at home to help them embrace healthy food. And again, raising healthy food uh, is very good for their health, because health, so it wise to help them learn how to plant healthy food and grow healthy food for themselves and therefore their families as well, to continue.
You're breaking up a little bit, but it sounds like it turns into a positive cycle. It's a regenerative cycle. You get people to growing their herbs and their food, and they get health benefits to help them grow more of their own herbs and their food.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of talk here about autoimmune diseases, HIV and such. And the conversation very often just gets boilerplated. It just gets smashed into how do we afford the pharmaceuticals? And it becomes a conversation of poor versus rich, and the rich holding on to their pharmaceutical properties and not selling them for cheap enough. But it's amazing to learn that there's a loophole and, a hack, if you will. We can get by that, and it's through the earth. I just find that to be one of the most amazing aspects of your story. So I wanted to ask about, I got a whole list of stuff here. What blends best with that? Yeah, so with the community, you've ended up getting support from community, local chieftains, and how is that? How is it beneficial to have the energy of community, your local community behind you in doing this, and how do they see your work, And how does that also inspire, you know, others in your community to get started doing similar work?
That's a very good question, brother. Yes, you know, like what I told you, I'm doing this from my heart, and I do it as a passion and to help many. So it maybe some people may see it different, but many people have really appreciated, and they have uh, really want, and they are encouraged that if this young boy has gone to school instead of going to look for a job, the way some people are viewing it, and instead of looking for a job, he has come over here and leave his family there, and also leave what maybe what staying with his family and coming here to do this kind of. So that has really encouraged the community so much.
They're inspired.
When I'm sharing with them, they feel like they are attached. You know, like I told you, when the community comes together, when we come together and we share together, you know, it also removes some fear. Someone else, we are keepers. So that has really encouraged them, and I'm also very happy when I see them soiling their hands together with us, and also to learn as well. You know.
Mm. So it sounds like usually the pattern is sometimes providers have to leave in order to get work elsewhere, and it sounds like you're inspiring community that you can make a living and support family and support community at the same time. That's amazing. I have Michael Polarski, Skeeter here, who wants to talk. He's got a question. I'm going to let him in. Okay.
Oh, wow. That sounds good.
Michael, are you ready?
Yeah. Hello, Raymond. Can you hear me?
Hello, Michael. I can hear you.
Yeah. So I'm very interested in talking more. And I just put on the Global Earth Repair Conference. And a long time ago, in 1990s, I used to have a service called Travelers Earth Repair Network. And we sent people all around the world to many countries to work and do volunteer work for organizations like yourself. And we had, maybe 10, 15 organizations in Kenya, or places in Kenya people would go. And that's been a while now. But I'm curious how much that you are in touch with other permaculture and organic projects in Kenya. Do you have a network of people to work with?
Okay. That's a good question, brother, and thank you so much for coming in. So just to answer your question, just there are no very many people practicing permaculture here, but I only know some friends whom I was in permaculture school with, and they are not coming from the same area, so a bit far from where we are. I always, maybe when I want to know something nobody do, but they are not working in that area as well. So there are not very many here. It is only Organic Food Kenya that has come in to share about the permaculture thing area.
Yeah, so feel isolated and you don't have many friends to work with. Then you're just your local people. You don't have there's here in the United States and some places we have big networks because of technology, and it's easy for us to talk to other people. But that sounds like it's not the case for you. It's much more difficult.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sometimes it seems like the audio is not coming all the way up. But Michael, would you? It sounds like the question is Raymond, do you feel like you've got lots of support from others locally that are also interested in permaculture directly? You said you had some friends. Are those projects close to you? Do you guys work together on stuff?
Yes, as I've said, in this community, though we don't have many movements practicing this, but I only know of some friends whom we were with in when I attended permaculture training, coming from this area, but we've been talking just the same way we are sharing with you. We've been sharing together and learning from what each and everyone is doing in this area. No, it is only us that are here in the community. Yes.
Do you find that the bandwidth and the power availability and things like that sometimes get in the way of this kind of technological communication?
Yeah, it's a bit hard because as I told you last time, some of the community members, some of them have never gone to school. So it's a bit hard to, like, in terms of technology, it's a bit hard because, like, I want to give the basics so that to help them understand what we are talking about,
Yeah. We were talking about how yesterday how it's you learned a lot of things in school, but that you get an opportunity to teach in a very hands-on way, and while the people are touching the soil and touching the plants, to be able to tell them about these connections in a more detailed way. But that's really cool that you can get school where there's not school, and then you become the school.
Yeah. Yes.
Michael, did you have any more questions?
Yes. Now, can Raymond, can you hear me at this point? Can you hear what I'm asking?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. How hard is it for you to leave and travel to other parts of Kenya? Is travel difficult?
Not really, because right now we have our motorbike that was donated by a friend from the US. So my traveling is not very hard not very hard.
Okay. And
yes.
It's so what I have other contacts in Kenya from recent contacts. And so I will find their information, and they're into permaculture. You might know some of them. And so I will get that information to you. Maybe some other, might be some other connections there that will be useful. Mm-hmm. I've just been I was just emailing with a woman named Precious Fury in Zimbabwe, and she is going to put on a Africa Earth Repair Conference next year. No, 2 years from now.
Oh, wow.
So we want to get you to that conference in Zimbabwe. Is it?
Yay!
Can you travel?
Oh,
can you travel out of the country? Do you have a passport? Is that hard to do?
Yeah, I have a passport, and I think it will be fine. It will be fine. I would really appreciate, because that will experience of what is outside of the world.
Right, and there was a international permaculture convergence in I think it was Malawi, maybe 6 years ago, maybe, and that brought permaculture people from around Africa together, and internationally. That would have, we'll have to see if we can get that address list from that for you as well. Lots of.
Wow! Thank you very much in advance. I'm happy to hear that.
Wow! And do you know about Fambidzanai Center in Zimbabwe? Is it that that group? Fambidzanai. It's a permaculture center in Zimbabwe, one of the oldest in Africa. Very, very good center.
Oh, wow.
Can you watch YouTubes on your computer, Raymond?
Yes, I can do. I can do.
I will send you a list of some YouTubes to watch that will be that should be useful for you.
Michael,
well. So, yeah.
Michael, would
Wow.
you email those to me as well? And I'll put those up and tie them into the other posts around this conversation on Facebook.
Yeah, some of them are already on our site,
Okay.
but I'll look up some other ones too. So yeah, so we of course. Did you? I just sent $100 donation to you yesterday. Did that show up, Raymond, or did you know about that?
The what?
$100 PayPal donation last night.
Oh yes, yes, it came through.
Oh, good.
And we are very appreciative, brother.
Yeah, well, we want to thank you for joining us here. So now we're connected, so we can help each other.
Thank you very much.
Does $100 helpful there? Here, it's not so much money, but there, it's pretty useful.
Very useful, my brother. Very useful.
Shoot, $100 is still useful in these States.
Well,
wow.
But I wanted to mention I put donate links all around direct to directly contribute to Raymond and Organic Food Kenya, and those are embedded in the event and in the webinar description, and in should be later in the YouTube description. And if anybody for the crowds wants to click those, it's just a simple PayPal donation link, old school, but it works. And there's no middleman taking any cream off the top. So I wanted to mention that. And hopefully we can help you flow a whole lot more into these projects.
Thank you very much. I'm so excited and very humbled.
And you have, how many children you have there now?
I only have one boy right now. He's called Alan.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can tell he's around.
Thank you.
I'm in that sport too. Chasing youngins.
Wow.
Well, that's we have solidarity in trying to parent through earth repair and farming and getting by with being full-time parents and also doing this work. So, a lot of respect from me to you, Raymond, for what you do and also having a kid.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you much.
So, Michael, did you have anything off the top of your head? I'm going to go back into the other questions that you sent me.
No, we could go to the other questions.
Okay.
There are questions I would like to answer, but it's probably, it's, I guess one question is there any help from the government in Kenya for things like your project, or is it that you just have to, or it's just that there's, I'm just curious if there's any help or if they're only trouble.
That's a very good question, Michael. For many times since we started this project, out to the government also to support us, but that has not been very possible. Received any funding from the government yet, and we've been putting our request to them, But being a grassroots project, a kind of in Kenya, don't see when those high-profile people, they don't see it as something important. But so it's very hard. We've never got any funding from the government yet.
Okay. All right. Just wondered.
It's a good question. But it seems like you've had to kind of bootstrap with yourself and the community, not having a whole lot of official support. So, is that something you got to take care of, my friend?
Now?
Oh, I was just wondering if that, if you got to go take care of a child right now, or if we need to take a break for a second.
Oh yeah, I think that would be very good, brother.
Okay, we can take a break for a second if you want to. Well, I was just wondering if you've got somebody else there right now to help you with that, or if you wanted to go.
I think we can take a break for a second.
Okay. I'll let you go. Or I'll mute you and let you take care of that.
Thank you.
All right. So, Michael, you're still here. We could still talk.
Now, are you seeing? I see it when I talk. I just have my name show up, no picture.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that attendees don't get a picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll have to invite you in as here. Hold on, I'll graduate you. Let's see. There we go. Hi, Michael.
All right, good. Yeah, and now I also see the mute stop video participant. Before I had none of those options. So now it's a more full.
Okay, yeah, you've got a lot of controls there. To the webinar, there's a whole lot more we could do. So we got this video call last night when Raymond was actually at his farm, and we got video of the water tanks and some people working, and it's rather beautiful. So I'll show you those later. But we were talking about the water harvesting practices, and I'll let him go on that a little bit more. But they were saying that they've had a lot of donations for rain barrels and such through the internet, but that more is always helpful. And then Raymond has actually ended up being kind of a hold fast for the community for clean water source, and people come to him now.
Yeah,
but the more tanks is better. And but we were talking about the community getting drinking water through drinking holes, shallow wells, basically, and how that situation deteriorated when they started removing the trees, of course. But how we could work, they could work on bringing the trees back up to the water and get the river clean again, and so forth. Although it sounds like he's pioneering a lot right now.
We should we'll have to show him some of the videos from India where they've done a lot of water retention work. It's interesting to note that I see that Raymond wanted to have one of his projects they were hoping for is to make a borehole.
A borehole, yes.
Which is drilling a well. But it's interesting that in one of the India projects, the whole village outlawed boreholes.
Oh.
They would not allow them to go in. They only allowed shallow wells that were fed from recharging the aquifer, and that the boreholes, in some situations, people start putting down boreholes and the water table starts dropping. They go deeper, drop it more, and eventually only the richest people can get the water, and all the poor people can't get at the water because it's too low. So there is a danger. There is a danger in boreholes as a strategy. And
right.
Of course, in some places, in some cases, it's certainly fine, but one can't just accept them automatically as a step forward. And of course, I don't know the situation there, but just wanted to note
I'm new
that.
to the concept. I had to ask what a borehole was last night when we were talking, but it sounded like a shallow well, but it sounded like they're a little bit different. Boreholes go deeper and puncture
More of a
deeper into the
drilled well rather
drilled
than
well.
a dug well. So
Okay.
dug by machine, and usually they're 100 feet or they go quite deep. Of course, some of them.
Right.
Usually you don't go further than you need to because it costs money.
Okay. I might be getting a message in from Ray right now. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, he says he's back. I'll unmute him. There you go. Hi, Raymond. Are you back with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got my
Wow.
picture now.
Yes, I can see your picture now. Thank you.
Yeah, I graduated him. He's a panelist now on the other side.
Oh, thank you. Wow.
Where he should be, honestly, in the limelight. We were talking about boreholes just now, and you had mentioned that you guys might need to open up some boreholes, and that people have been opening up boreholes as a way of getting water, but that in some of these, we'll have to share YouTube videos here, but in some of these cases that where boreholes open up, sometimes it can drop the water table down and down, and then eventually only rich people can get to the water. So it might be a quick fix, but planning for more trees and a higher water table so that shallow wells still work seems like it would be the ideal long run. But maybe you have more insight into that, Raymond, because some of these things are a source of survival right now for people, and that's always awkward to challenge sources of survival. It's the tightrope we walk. Maybe you could say more.
Oh, that's a very good question, brother. Yeah, just as I mentioned.
Do we get a?
We in this area we sorry.
You're breaking up a little bit. Maybe start again. Oh.
Hello.
We seem to have a little bit of a connection issue.
Oh, can you hear?
Or maybe it's on my end. I'm gonna stop
you hear
your
me now?
video, Michael, because it might be interfering with the talk right now.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead again, Raymond. I couldn't hear any of that sentence.
So I was saying, just as I mentioned, I shared with you in the morning, in this community where our project is, we always receive a drought, and many people, because of unclean water, because like the river we have behind our farm is 8 meters away from the farm, but it's a seasonal one. During drought, there's no water there, so many people suffer because of clean water. So there are waterborne diseases. In fact, in this area, when there's a community that really register a high number of people getting infected by cholera. So we've been thinking like having a water system where we can get access to clean and potable water, and that's why we started this water harvesting. And it is a good one. I told you, some people have houses where they can do the harvesting, but they lack the water tanks. And even if the water tanks are there, like the ones that we've given the community from the donation from the water charity, they are not enough. and people really suffer because the water tanks can't provide enough water for everyone. And so we thought of like having a permanent where people can get access to clean water in the community, because the 1,000 people in the community and they can't access the water we have even at the farm, the water harvesting that we do. So thinking like doing something.
More water harvesting is in order, it sounds like. More tanks.
Yes.
But I wondered, the thing that popped into my mind is anybody there using natural building technologies of the sort that, like creating natural forms of concrete, plaster, that kind of thing, to create cisterns out of the materials that are there, versus just importing the poly ones.
Yes, in like in building houses, just the same way we built our guest house. Many people use the natural soil materials here to build their houses, and like in the case of water, it is I've never seen someone building like maybe a tank from the concrete, because it requires that you have to buy some material like the cement. With the building, is just fine. People are doing it here naturally, and I really love it as well. Yes.
I think that I've seen some people mixing clay with potash and a couple other ingredients. There's a channel on YouTube called Primitive Skills Technology. I watch with my kids a lot, and that was one of the methods they were using to kind of create it. It did hold water. They were able to fire this stuff into clay tiles and develop a sort of seal. And I was wondering if anybody was doing like that, but it's easier said than done. Building a house out of it is a lot different than building something that holds clean water and doesn't let it go. But I was curious, and one of Michael's questions had to do with any other natural methods for water harvesting, holding water on the land, like key lining, terracing, swales, any of this.
We are teaching the community to do like the swales, like the ones we've done in our farm. They come and learn it there as well, and also when it rains, we advise them that we don't want any water to move out of the farm when it rains, so we build such like systems so that when it rains, the farm for their crops. And my concern with the borehole was just about the clean water for drinking. Like the community also make pots from the soil, and this one they are very, very small. They can't have enough water as well. So it is a natural way of building something here. So clean water is an issue here.
So we were talking about it seems like you're doing both. You're holding water on the land with these permaculture technologies, and you're also collecting clean water for agriculture and for humans, and they're slightly different tangents. But that's awesome. And through those technologies, have you seen your own land transform from when you first started?
Very, very, very much, and we've really transformed. Because last time, as I told you, we making that soil very well, because the soil was not very good, and we had to work on it. So for the last 1 year, we've been working on the soil alone, and one of these techniques of like swales and also building this system has really transformed this farm so much, my brother. I tell you, so much. In fact, now to people who saw the place before can't believe it has turned out. It is very beautiful, very wonderful. I tell you.
I imagine that helps your clout in the community to be able to refer and to the transformations, and that's wonderful. Do you find even locals, neighborhood gardeners, people with their own land, asking you, copying you, using these methods beyond just huge farming, but yeah, in the neighborhoods, this is coming up?
Very, very much. Many people have replicated what we have been doing at the farm there. I feel very happy when I see putting the same on their own farms,
That's great. That's great. Food forests and hugelkultur and that kind of thing. Do you use hugelkultur?
But food forests, we do here.
Food forest. Yeah.
Yes. We planted. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I interrupted you.
Oh, like the food forest, we've started planting some fruits like the mangoes, the oranges, the white sapota, the penesi. So they are our food forest soon. So we've also seen people who have visited our farm and have also started implementing the same on their own farms.
That's great.
How about papayas, bananas?
So this area, banana is not doing very well. No, okay. No. Banana is doing very well. Yes, we have tried it at the farm and it's doing very well. It's only the pineapple that is not doing very well here. But papaya, bananas.
Yeah, I like bananas and papaya because fast yields. You get something pretty quick.
Oh yes, they're doing very well here. I tell you, very, very well here.
I look
some good numbers.
Seeing more pictures. Send more photos. Yeah.
Please,
yeah, more and more.
Yeah, I will. I have a lot of photos, over 2,000. Seeing how we started and where we are today. A lot of pictures. I'll try to send them over.
So, do you take pictures with your cell phone? You have a cell phone for pictures?
This my cell phone that I'm using is what I use for taking pictures.
And how many people have cell phones in your area? Most people, a few people, half the people?
I can say I've got cell phones. Okay, like we have the Android phone. This Android phone is very hard to find many people with it, but this other one that can't access, many people has it.
The one you're using?
Using that I can access internet, not very many people has it. Very, very few people has it in the community. A few people.
It sounds like something to get into more people's hands. But yeah, I'm glad that we were able to help you get the data to have this call. By the way, that it was easy to get you the PayPal, and then you went right out and got that data. But now, rural broadband, is it mostly cell phone connections out there, or do people actually have Wi-Fi anywhere?
No. Wi-Fi is only found in town. In the community, you can't find a Wi-Fi, and things that we really want our project to like have a Wi-Fi and maybe have some computers where we computer classes, because I always feel in my heart that to learn, to access information is very, very important, and we are also having in mind to start a library there, where information and they cannot use these devices. So in the community where we are, there's no Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi you can only find Wi-Fi in town. I always use broadband in my phone. I buy the credit, then I turn them into data bundles. Yes.
Is mail reliable? I have lots of books. I could send a few books for your library. But is mail reliable, or does it get there?
Wow, I think that would be wonderful. If you registered, if you send a registered mail, it will reach us because we have our box address in town where we can access our via mail. And so when you register and you set it as a registered parcel, it will be we'll be able to get it easily.
Okay. We'll need your mailing address. I guess maybe email that to Brendan.
Oh yes, I will.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. This is my favorite right here.
Oh,
Required reading.
Permaculture. Wow, that's very nice.
Permaculture handbook. Peter Bain did this one, but and I'm not sure. There's not a lot of stuff for Africa in here, but a lot of good stuff about water harvesting and the soil web and basically everything else. Yeah, I would love to. I'd like to peek at your books, Michael, before you send them off. No, Raymond needs them. Now, what off the top of my head, we've got 30 more minutes to fill up. I was wondering, let's talk about, do you want to talk about wildlife again? About the wildlife that goes right up and the monkeys and the hyenas?
Yeah, we are a privilege to have wild animals. The river next to our farm has got birds and also hyenas as well. So like when our volunteers comes here, we always take them to along that river to also see monkeys, and they look beautiful. We also these wild birds with different colors and their different songs. They sing different songs, and I really love them so much.
We saw that bird on the video last night for me, and it looked like a flying rainbow, glimmering flying rainbow. Pretty beautiful. I was
very excited. Very beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
And you said your hyenas are somewhat friendly, or were you talking about the monkeys? Or is the hyenas?
Oh yes, yeah, they are hyenas. Yeah, they sometimes distract the community. Like when you don't keep the sheep well, they will. But they are very friendly. You can't see them mostly daytime, but maybe in the evening you can see them friendly. They don't interfere with human beings.
I see a person.
Yeah, this is my son. Alan is.
Hi.
Say hi, Papa.
Pleased to meet you.
Very shy. Shy.
Yeah, mine too. So the work you're doing and inspiring people in the neighborhood, it sounds like you're starting to extend the greenway slightly in that way, and we were talking about the official Greenbelt project, which may or may not be terribly successful anymore and didn't really get off the ground too well. But I wondered what how you saw what you're doing in the context of connecting the wildlife up between your area, other areas, and making it so that we have that highway for the different species to move freely again across Kenya, across different countries as well.
Hold on, please.
So maybe I need to rephrase a little bit better. Some years back, folks were trying to officially create a green belt in Africa, and that plan doesn't seem to be in effect anymore. but how do you see the work you do related to the rest of the community in increasing the size of that wildlife highway, that corridor in Africa, in your area? Do you think it's helping?
Oh yeah, it is
More
very,
different
very.
animals from outside the area coming through? Are there species that you didn't see before starting to show up to where you're set up? That kind of thing?
It is helping because maybe you can frame again your question. Sorry.
How do you see this connecting to connecting all of the green areas in your area and beyond, and how that's affecting the wildlife and its ability to travel?
Oh, good. That's a very good question. You know, last when we were talking about planting of more trees, because you know many people cut, that has really affect the habitat for these wild animals as well. And so I explained to you that when we plant more trees here, we'll be able to have different animals coming in because they will have a good habitat for habitat for them. So having this place green will help a lot. It will help restore back the soil. It will help water catchment, and it also help as a habitat for these wild animals as well. You know, because I feel sad like when trees are cut down, and you know their habitats are also. So greening this place will really help with animals as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell me more again about the reforestation and seedling plantations and the community that you've been doing.
Yeah, well, we've started tree nursery here, and just as I told you, the seeds that we planted here come up well, and right now we only managed to have around 1,000 seedlings, which is not enough for everyone, but we'd want to have a big seed bed here, numerous and a lot seedlings, so that the community can come and we can organize a mass planting of trees, because the community really love this. We've really shared more about this and the need for this, and they really very happy to get to be part and parcel of this. So we were thinking of like raising more seedlings here from the farm, and we can give them to the community and plant and this.
That's great. I wondered where you thought others could help, or where you feel like you could expand the capacity, expand your ability to have more seedlings to be able to give, to support the community in that. What would be required to get that bigger, get that growing?
When we have places like the ones I showed you on the picture, that are really getting worse every time it rains here. So such like to plant the trees there, and also to help restore back that soil, and also to help get this place green. You know, so we put some requests to some organizations here that deal with the seeds. So some of them are not very positive. That's as I told you, they only want, oh, you have to pay me before I. In the case of the Wangari Maathai people, you know, but
yeah.
Enough seeds here, brother. We can raise enough seedlings for greening this place, for greening this and beyond. You know, because my heart is not only working here, but working beyond. Because I know there are very many people and there are very many places that need help.
Yes.
So when, you know, like when we raise more seedlings, we can help many communities to place and beyond.
maybe next time we have this conversation, we can call in Alan Watson Featherstone up there in Scotland. People visit him from Madagascar to get advice on raising seeds and getting trees back in the ground and reforesting. So his work is really inspiring. He's bringing forest back in areas where there's been no forest for such a long time that people just assume that's the way that the land looks, because it was thousands of years ago, but still doing it. So I wonder where we could maybe connect you with some of that knowledge, or the man himself, the Trees for Life Foundation up there. Now, Michael Skeeter, are you still there? Oh.
Hello?
I think he might have walked off the mic. It's okay. I was just going to see if he had anything that's come up in his mind. He had some good questions. Yeah. So what? Just looking at the list again here about schools. How has your work? Has your work crossed over with public school in your area? Is there are there gardens showing up, with at your kids' school, or how does what you're doing, how has it been picked up by the education community in your community?
Wow. Since we started working in this community, we've been hosting even children from schools, public schools and private schools, to come and learn here. And we have a plan. It is having enough resources to do this, but we've been having a plan because we have identified some schools that are not very near our farm, but they are really, really eager to more. So we've been thinking of having some demo farms in other schools where children can learn, and other children can learn, So the part we've done is only hosting children coming here to learn and see what we are doing.
That's great. A lot of people were saying about how getting this connected to the schools is important to helping the community recover.
Yeah,
they're just natural centers of learning, and the community gathers around schools. So
that's true.
Besides just having them come to you, are you going and helping setting any gardens up over there at the schools, or? So I was wondering if you guys have been developing any gardens, or if they've developed any gardens at schools or other education places as an inspiration, from your inspiration.
Yeah, just as I said, we've been hosting children here, and we only have one school that we had started a garden, and it is a public school. But in future, I would really want to move to many schools so that they don't, because the distance also to come to our farm, some schools. So we want to spread this and some schools. It's only that we don't have enough resources to do that. But in future, we really want to go and do other schools, so that other children can also get access to on how to learn how to grow healthy food from there.
That's awesome. I hope we can help you in that process any way we can. They go together like white and rice, basically. Schools and gardens. So do you can we talk a little bit about volunteers before we run out of time, about people that come and help? about your openness to having volunteers from the global community?
Sorry.
How often do you have volunteers come in to help you, and how valuable is that to your organization?
I've been having volunteer here both locally and internationally, and the community are volunteering. That's almost every week we volunteer. We work here together, and as they learn both practical and theory. And again, we are also a host in Kenya. Our profile is listed by Workaway, and we're hosting volunteers from abroad countries. And as I showed you the picture, you could see the tanks, some tanks that we have there, like the big tank behind our guest house was donated by a friend. The US came, and even the solar on our roof, I showed you the picture there. It was donated by volunteers, and even our farm where our project is. I told you that we used to buy the piece of land was just raised. I did the fundraising online, and people from different countries donated something. And I told you there are very many people that the ones I don't know, I've not met, but were able to. Having volunteer here is very important to us, because they come and they also see the need by themselves. And as much as I can speak like this, and when you come here, you this by your own eye, and that will give you a clear picture of what I'm sharing here. So having volunteers here is very vital, and has really pushed this project so far, I tell you.
That's great. So if I wanted to come to Kenya and help you plant trees, I could, and it would be you'd benefit from that someday. I also work with solar, but it's pretty awesome that you've got people stopping by and coming through and helping you already. But that it's a big community. We all need to help each other.
Yeah.
We're all in the leaky canoe together. So now I'm out of the other questions, and Michael asked his, and I was wondering if there's anything we haven't asked you that you would like to speak to or mention while we're still online right now.
I don't have any.
Is there a way we can control the music? Can they? I'm hearing the music.
Not close it.
Just to turn it down.
More turn it down. Turn it down, please. Bring it here. Bring it here.
Okay.
Yeah, just fine now.
We got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So say that again.
So I was saying right now I don't have much question, but maybe as time goes, as I will have questions. But I would only ask you to request you to please is your home. Make Organic Food Kenya your home, and our arms and doors are open for our brothers and sisters from all over the world. And talking, I just feel like we are. I don't know. I feel it from my heart. It seems like we've known each other for maybe 10 years ago, but I feel it. It is wonderful, brother.
I'm very grateful you feel that way, brother. I feel that too. I feel like when we share from close to the heart, it doesn't matter how much time we've known each other, because I think that they showed that as the fetus is developing in the womb, the heart comes first, and then the tongue comes straight out of the heart. That's the first thing to develop before the brain. So heart, tongue. That tells me when we do this, we get these deep connections. I appreciate that sentiment that you are inspiring us. Believe me.
Thank you.
And anybody watching this, I hope, to do more organic gardening, more permaculture wherever they are, and mainly that you may have questions for us, but is there anything you wanted to mention about your work that we didn't end up asking you directly? This is your chance to say any more about your story that we'd really love people to know.
Oh, thank you very much. As I told you, as I mentioned before, I'm giving back to the community full time, and as much as I do this, solve my problems. And though I always don't want to talk more about my problems, because in my life I dreamed of like doing something that can help many people. I mentioned to you in my childhood, came from a very humble background, and my family were not able to to provide food on the table, you know. So sometimes we go hungry for, and I felt like, I should not live this life. And I should not let someone else live such like a life. And that's why I thought it wise to do something that can help people. You know, that's my heart, brother. I always long to do something that touches the hearts and as many people as possible. So I only to please help me make my dream come true. I would really appreciate it. And I know that who need our help, that will really appreciate that. No.
Well, you're helping me make mine come true because I have the same dream.
Wow.
Well, it's the most we can hope for in this life, to have an impact and connect to as many hearts and minds as possible. But getting into earth repair and ecosystem and permaculture, it just, everything gets so clear. It's just so clear. This is it. I know it sounds like we're all tooting our own horn, but believe me, everybody, if you're watching this, you wonder what's the thing. This is the thing. If you're confused at all. Now, there's a million different tangents to chase and a million different things to do in life. And in some ways, even you can do just about anything for a living and still do earth repair ecosystem stuff. Because permaculture people, you need solar people and people that know how to fix motorbikes and hydrologists and wildlife biologists, and we all need each other.
Yeah.
So I'm just so grateful you could connect with us, brother. And that this is a pretty good conversation so far. So as one maybe last thing, you mentioned that you're crowdfunding right now for shelter. And that
yes.
You are trying to raise $3,000 that will be matched by a friend once you raise that, and that there's a current GoFundMe, and that's on your Facebook page, right? And we've linked the Facebook page to this event. But I wondered if you had anything more to say to that about your push right now to build a home.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful. Yes, as I mentioned to you about our projects, I told you we have the projects for the community and also my personal project like the shelter. You know, like our guest house is not enough to host us and also to host ourselves as well, because even our volunteers also need their privacy, and we also need our private wise to have our own house, to build our own home where we can have can have my family, and as we dedicate our guest house for our volunteers. So I talked with a friend who also felt like it would be wonderful. So she asked me, which type of house would you want to build? So we gave her all everything, and what we can do, if you are able to raise $3,000, then we'll be able to amount of money. So which means they will also give another $3,000 for our shelter. So that's why I made the link that people can chip in a little bit, because no donation is too small for us. Every donation counts, and
right.
it's a small bit by bit we can reach our goal of 3,000, so that they can with the other $3,000. So our link is out, and I request always post it on my page to so that a friend, you can't donate, but you can share it with other friends so that people can donate and help my family have a shelter.
Okay. And it sounds like you're 2,100 away from that goal, or how close are we to the 3,000?
Oh yes, from the farm we are, because where our project is not my native home. Our home is 20 kilometers away from where the project is, and right now my family is staying from the farm, because my son is going to school right now, and we got advice to at least rent us a small house where we can get it easily to school every morning. Also helping some kids within the town, and so they would have easy time if we rent this house. So every morning I commute from here, going to the farm after I've taken to at my native home is 20 kilometers away from the project is.
That's a pretty long commute.
Yeah.
So your dream is to someday have more habitation out there, so you don't have to commute so long to get to your life's work. That's a great goal. I find that to be hard. I've started many gardens and farms, and there's a million people that want you to turn their land into paradise, but not as many. It's easier said than done to make a building there and a habitation there. Then you've got to move in all the amenities. You've got to deal with the poop, all of that. But so hats off. It's not an easy challenge. And right now it sounds like you're still in the fundraising area, but I wish you luck. Yeah. Now, shoot. So, where do you see your work going forward? You were mentioning a few goals about having a milk cow, maybe a few more chickens, that kind of thing on the farm.
Yeah, John. We thought it wise to have. We have started our poultry project there, and I told you last time we sold all the chicken to enable us to raise money to improve our chicken, so to take good care of them as well. So we the poultry project, and we started specifically to get and also to raise eggs to improve our nutrition as well, and also to sell some, and also to help us raise some income, like always asking people for funding, asking people for money. So when chickens and we have the cows there, we can have some milk, we can sell some, and we get some income out of it, help us raise some more money to put in these projects without always asking people for support.
Yeah. Self-sufficiency, and it helps you feel better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like standing on solid ground versus trying to stand on water. I hear some people can do the latter, but it's easier said than done. Now, so the chickens, having the chickens helped you. Having a milk cow would help. Do you think that would help with fertilization? And the ungulates have a tendency to impact the soil, aerate the soil. Do you think that's some of your reason to have the cow? Is it the milk, or is it kind of all of the above?
Sorry?
So beyond the chickens and the financial benefit of the chickens, having a cow, I was wondering how you felt about the benefits of having a cow to your farm, beyond just milk. How does that play into what you're doing, and how would that benefit the land?
Oh wow, that's a good question, because we are looking forward to not have many cows, but maybe one or two, and from the cow we can also get the manure as well.
Yeah, many cows is not good. One or two can make a huge difference.
Exactly. Because of the compactation of the soil, two will be okay. Compact the soil so much. So we only want to have one or two cows.
That's a great goal. So she gives you milk. She comes in and helps compact the soil, so you build up more of that carbon. And that sounds like a great goal. You know what, brother? I think I'm out of questions on this round. Did you?
You've not asked about the bees. We also want
the bees. I forgot about the bees. How could I forget about the bees?
What?
How is that coming in? And what are you looking for in terms of what do you need to get started on that?
Okay, the reason why we did it here is because of this. The boxes are very expensive here. One box is almost 5,000 Kenya shillings.
Oh.
So, but in future, we really want to start even with the process and from get good pollination here, and we can also get very nice natural honey here as well. And because I told you we moringa trees at the farm, and moringa is very, very nice when they are feeding on moringa. They produce perfect and wonderful honey, because we want the community to be self-reliant and also get access to healthy foods, So we will start with your plant around 2, 3, or 5 boxes.
I'm curious if we could maybe talk about if there's another way to get bee boxes going or beehives going with or without having to get them in from an official source that costs your 5,000 Kenyan shillings. There's got to be a way that people did this before. If we could look into some of that stuff, maybe we could get you going earlier. Would you be interested in that?
Yes, I will. I will be very much interested.
Okay. And I mean, also, it sounds like now there's been a lot of recent research into honey and the immune system, where when I have the flu or a sore throat, I take local honey, and that full circle, the bees pollinating the moringa, getting the honey from these highly immune system boosting plants, and then I'm seeing that the honey that would come from that would also have a positive effect on the immune system.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. Do you have a lot of bees in your area already? Do you have honeybees? Are there other people doing that, or do you have wild bee species?
There are wild bees here, and even behind our guest house, we had spotted one coming from a hole next to a tree down there, and wild ones, and they have been there since on that land up now, and we are taking care of them as well.
Right. Oh, that's good. And those are African honeybees?
Yeah.
All right. All right. But if you got European honeybees as well, then you could keep the honey.
Yes.
That's a plus. Well, it's 10:30 now, brother. Do you have anything else you wanted to mention? Is there anything I forgot to ask?
I'm not seeing right now the past. I think we've talked about all of them. And maybe. Wow. Maybe. Wow. For now,
believe me.
Sorry.
I'm brought into connecting you to other African permaculturists and global permaculturists like our friend Precious Fury out there in Zimbabwe. I have a friend in Cameroon who's been talking to me about his work in permaculture and growing cacao.
Wow.
And similar struggles, similar issues to bandwidth, power, this kind of thing, transportation. But I'm seeing this as the beginning of something really good, and connecting you and them and us and everybody in this big job. It's a very big job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Getting this planet repaired.
I'll really appreciate that.
Yeah. So I'm excited that you will get to connect to these people. And we'll keep the conversation going on Facebook and on email and on Zoom. And I'm just so grateful you could join me today. And this is already live and it's going up as an archive. And I'm also going to be uploading our talk from your farm and more. So we'll just keep this rolling.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother.
Hey, be sure to tell everybody in your home and your family thank you for their patience and letting you do this and letting us into your home for this evening.
Wow, I will.
Okay. And make sure to forward our love and support to, everybody you're working with out there at the farm, and that we really appreciate their work too.
I will, please. I will.
Okay. Peace, brother. Good night.
Peace to you too, brother. Thank you.